Is it live? Yeah, obviously didn't mean to do that. Because I don't know why it's saying that. For one. Two, y'all know I'm just, especially if I'm just getting back to this. And it's me. Yes, it's me. Barb. I just got done talking to Papa Sasquatch for like freaking ever. Didn't hit the live stream because what me and Pop talk about is what me and Pop talk about. And it's not it because we're both on that spectrum. So it could go from A to Z like that. And it did. It usually does. Let's see who we got in here. Looks like we got one. Thank you for joining, watching. I don't have anything really in particular that I was going to talk about tonight because I kind of didn't even know if I was going to be able to go live or if that was going to work, if my sound was going to work. So let me know if you cannot hear me and all that stuff. Let me find the chat. There we go. Comments. Dun, 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 dun. And see, I had an incident where just the other day, just to update you guys on, for one, where I've been. What's up, Andrew? How's it going, buddy? Been a long time. Hope you're doing okay. I had went through the spider bite incident, and of course, that has caused a plethora of problems on down the line. But then I dropped my good phone, which is the one that I usually use to do my live streams. I dropped it in the toilet in the process of trying to catch a urine specimen for the doctor, and I peed on it at the same time before I could. And it has no screen protector, has no case around it, and it is now sitting all the way down in some rice. Hopefully, good vibes, and the Lord will let me get this phone fixed. Not that this phone isn't doing its job, because it is. It's doing its job. Apparently, my sound is doing pretty good, and I am. I'm taking my mental health meds like I'm supposed to, getting more sleep and all that stuff. So doing the colored, I'm actually colored a lot now in a coloring book, and I do a journal to try to keep all the stuff in my brain from like driving me insane. Because it was there for a while, especially right after the spider bite. It was definitely driving me insane. I really don't know how long I'm going to be live tonight either. Uh, Only because I did just, let me see. I just now realized wherever you guys are, thank you. Thank you, seriously. Because it is literally like 2 o'clock in the morning where I'm at. But you know what that means? That means Richie will probably be up soon. So it's not like you'll be without entertainment, which we had a really good show yesterday. I streamed with him for a little while. Then we switched over to Rumble because we did like a little watch party. And we watched 28 Years Later, which is pretty recent, like horror film. If you haven't seen it, it's one of those ones where it's like, I'm not going to be bragging about it, but if you want to just watch it and then debate some of the issues with it, that's kind of what we were doing. So that was my second go around of watching it. And that's when I really realized like some of this stuff just doesn't make a lot of sense. And they don't really explain it to you. So it kind of leaves you like open ended and all that stuff. So yeah. I might not have put my dang, what you call it, in the chat just yet. Because it's been a minute since I've done this too. So I'm still remembering how everything works too. Because that's another reason why Sasquatch isn't up here. Because we couldn't figure out how to do it and get it to come to the computer. Okay, let me see what the heck I'm looking at. We can do this. What's it gonna do? Let me get that. There's the link. Copy that. close that out. And then, let's see. I am doing okay though. I apologize if you hear the vibrating. It's from my phone. Let me turn that off so it won't keep doing that because it'll let me. I get notifications for like all kinds of stuff, especially when it comes to my StreamYard or something like that. So let's see. Post a comment. This is going to let me post it. Okay, where the hell did it go? Not doing it. I'm going to post that. Let me go into that. There it is. Now, if everything works like it's supposed to, which we know how that is for me, that's the link to this stream. But like I said, I probably won't be going very long because I didn't really have anything. Most of the stuff that I'm probably, if I was going to talk about it, I'd probably wait till it was a different time of the day for one, two, when I've had a little bit more sleep. So I'm not as ill tempered as some of the stuff that I had written down to talk about can get me sometimes. You guys know when I talk about stuff that I feel passionate about, I get a little riled up. And I had a couple of different things, especially when it comes to like true crime stuff, because I follow true crime. So there's some stuff that's happened lately within the true crime community. It's really got me fucking heated because there's just no damn excuse. And I know that I'm like partially human or whatever, but it's just sad. It's just sad and it's angering and it's frustrating all at the same damn time. Way humans are being. See, mine was it was a Samsung and it was on Boost, but it was like one of the newer ones that it didn't have a screen protector on the front of it. And like this phone that I'm using right now, it has a whole case that goes all the way around it. So I can't tell you how many times I've dropped this phone and it still doesn't have a crack in the screen, knock on wood, and it's in good shape. It's just an older Samsung, so it doesn't have the options or apps that some of my other phones did. And it was such a bitch to hack into it. That that really sucked. Forgive me. Gotta get oxygen in my brain. Otherwise, I really ain't gonna know what the heck to do. So yeah, I, it's weird. I'm surprised that Dusty is not here, but he's probably streaming somewhere out there in the debate world, and I haven't watched them in a while. I know. I love it. My friend bought me this case that's around this phone. It's like a two thing. One snaps on. There's Chuck in Tennessee. Oh, he's on vacation. Well, what a lucky bitch, isn't he? Like on vacation or just on vacation from streaming. Good to see you here too, by the way, Chuck. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's been a minute. How are you guys doing in Tennessee since the storm? I still don't want to talk. Oh, so he's on real vacation. He, he definitely earned it. I want to go on one too, but I'm gonna wait until it's a little bit colder and then go like glamping or something like that. I wanted to go to Coral Castle, but after finding out that it's that damn rainy down there, I do not know. I do not know. That was weird. It looked like my phone moved all by itself, and that's not really. Oh, I think I know why I did that. because the way I have my phone set up to begin with, sitting on the stand that it's on and everything. Hope you guys have been doing well. It has been like, seems like it's been forever. It really has been forever since I've done a stream. It's been a good several months. I know that for sure because I had dreads. I had all three phones. I feel like I might have had my shit together a little bit more then than I do now, even though I'm on all of my meds, my psych meds now, which they do make me feel kind of spacey from time to time. Not gonna lie. It's getting there. It's getting there. Like we're still kind of in a little bit of what they're calling a drought here in North Carolina, but I mean it's nothing like the storm, and the trees are actually soaking up the water like they needed to instead of just getting drowned like we were afraid we would get too much rain after that and then it would just keep raining and raining and it would drown the trees. But no, so far so good. The crops seem to have been doing good, like the corn, because we grow a lot of corn around here, and apples. I'm not sure if our apple season I actually did that great this year because it's one county over from where I'm at, but that's known for their apples, um, and it's not Buncombe County. So Buncombe County is just known for being weird and having a shady ass government. So it's still dry in Tennessee. That sucks. That sucks because you guys need the rain. We all need the rain. But I love the way the rain smells in the mountains after it hits the rocks and it's raining and it's been warm outside. Oh, I love the way that smells. And the name of that is actually called petrichor. I just learned that this morning. Oh, damn. That's pretty good bit deep down of a drought. Yeah, they're harvesting the apples right about now is when they start harvesting them. It was weird. Looked like we had some other people joining us, but then I looked and didn't see them. So I guess we'll not be worried about that. And but it has its spouts. Then we'll have our days where it'll be like really sunny for like 3 or 4 days in a row, and the temperature will go back up like 27 degrees in the evening. It'll be like 45, 50, but then it'll be 80 degrees the next day. Like, what the hell, man? Ooh, I don't like when it gets cold. Like, why is it doing that? Okay, just leave the comment alone. Would be the proper thing to do. Not sure why it's doing. Like I said, it's been such a minute. It's been so long since I've done this. I'm still having to remind myself. Um, hey, Sterling, good to see you here. Let me
Hey,
add
how
you
are
to the
you?
stage. Okay.
Thanks for having me.
What was that?
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
It's good to see you. It's been a hot minute.
That
I hope
yeah,
you're
I
doing
just saw
well.
you. Yeah, same back at you. Can you hear me okay? I've been having service problems.
It's just it sounds a little like muffly, but I can still hear you. You might just
Okay,
need to
well,
move closer to your
I, I'm gonna fix it. I'll be right back. Okay.
okay. Jujubes. That's what you guys grow out there in Cali. Jujubes. Am I saying that right? Because you know me being from the South, I'm probably boogering that up for sure. And you know me, I'm blonde, so I'm usually boogering it up. I didn't mean to do that. Go away. Oh, there we go. Lovely. Oh, he must have left out and come back in. That's what he's probably gonna do. Do I have any banners? I don't think I have any banners running down there. Let me type this out real quick while we're waiting on someone to come back. I'll type this out. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, it's the forehead show in case y'all want to wear. Now I think I've got it. So let me sit it back sideways on my back. I need to get a damn, what you call it, a damn heating pad or whatever. No, let's go back to the comments. Okay. 22, it's the 20 seconds and 20 seconds. My first name with my last name, they sound very similar. So when I go to the pharmacy and I'm having to give them my name, I can't stand it because they sound very similar. Okay, okay, here we go. And hey, there now we got you up there.
Hey, how are you?
I am good, and your sound is much better now.
It's better. Okay. Let me know if it cuts up. I might have to turn my camera off. I don't know if that'll help, but yeah. I just saw
Sometimes
you
it
were live.
does. Sometimes it's just the device itself. They be doing what they want to do these days.
Ain't that the truth? What are you talking about tonight?
Not really anything in particular because I did have some stuff written down. But like
Mm.
I know a lot of my viewers don't always watch true crime. Some of the stuff that I had written down involves true crime, and other stuff that I wrote down was like different different shows that are going to be coming on starting in October and like November on Hulu and HBO that I seen that I thought were going to be really good. Yeah.
Well,
One of
it's
them is
interesting.
based on the movie It and the book. It's called
Go on.
Welcome to Dairy. It looks like it's going to
Welcome.
be really
Welcome to what?
good. Dairy. And I
Oh,
think it's Dairy, Maine. So weren't they in Maine in that
yeah.
in it?
It sounds
Yeah.
like the name of a town, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the name
Okay,
of the show is called Welcome to Dairy.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
And the other
did
one is called The Man in My Basement. And that one looks really good.
tell me about that one.
That one is where, okay, so there's this guy this guy played by William Defoe, who
Yeah.
somehow he's like really rich, but he somehow ends up in debt to this guy who owns this house, but he's passed away. Then this local black man purchased the house, but doesn't want to sell it and doesn't want to rent out the room. But the William Defoe's character really feels like in debt to the previous owner and keeps hounding the dude and keeps hounding the people in the town to like press the dude to rent the room, at least rent the basement out to him. And then all of a sudden, like the preview takes a weird left turn and looks almost like ritualistic stuff might be going on in the basement. And that's why he wanted to rent it out. And then the character of the black guy looks like he might even become possessed or like maybe need an exorcism at one point. This is all in just the little preview for the show. So the show is going to be really good, I think.
Okay. That sounds like dark and demonic and stuff, and kind of scary. That sounds good. I might watch that.
Yeah. And then the other one was, I think, called Black Rabbit. And I swear I think that one was on HBO. And
Black
I don't
Rabbit.
really watch HBO stuff a lot, but it's got Jude Law and Jason Bateman. And one of them is a drug dealer. The other one's like an undercover uh, DEA agent, and they're like on each other's asses. It looked really good. I
And
don't even know
what
if
was
that's in its first season or not. To be honest,
you said?
I
You
think it
said Black
may not be.
Black Rabbit.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll check it out.
Black.
And these are all on Hulu. You said?
Yeah, either Hulu or Disney Plus or Netflix or HBO. It's like one of those four. It's gonna be on there.
Okay.
I have 4 notebooks that I have that shit written down.
I don't watch a lot of shows, so like I don't have a lot of
I don't
time. But
either.
like yeah, but I just don't have enough time to invest in like a bad show. It seems like I don't even want a mediocre show. Like I need a great show, and then I'll invest my time in it. It's hard to
Yeah,
find.
that's how I was. The last time I was like that with a show was actually The Walking Dead. It's
Yes.
been a long time since I've been like
And so
obsessed with the show.
and so you watched that the whole way through. How many seasons was it? A
Yeah,
lot. 12,
yeah.
15. How many? Yeah. Yeah. Because I was obsessed with it like season one and maybe season two, but I dropped it after that. I don't know.
So
I
you
lost
don't know
interest.
about when they go into Woodbury and there's the governor and then Negan and then Glenn gets killed. Oh my gosh. You
I may
missed
have
so
seen. Maybe I saw more than season two. What was that? Like season three or four? Because that does sound
yeah, I
familiar.
think when Glenn gets killed, it's like they're getting close to 3 or 4, maybe even 5. But then when
Right.
they
Yeah.
after that, it started getting real cheesy, and I kind
Yeah.
of like started to taper off.
That's what I was asking. Like if you like followed it intensely the whole way through, because yes, I did see those seasons that you're talking about, or at least like part of them, and but it was like much later when I was really bored, as opposed to like season one, I was watching it as it came out. You know what I
Every
mean?
Sunday, like you
Yeah.
had to be there every Sunday, like gotta be there for one day.
But that faded. That faded real quick. Like after like
Yeah,
during season two, I'm not sure at what point, but yeah.
because it's kind of like the story can only carry itself so much, anyways. When you're dealing
Mm.
with zombies, I feel like it's like you're either gonna kill or be killed. I don't know why you would want to repopulate after all that shit just happened to you.
Mm.
I feel like when they put that in the storyline and people are getting pregnant again right after that, I'm like, how are you
Yeah.
even thinking about that? Shouldn't you be thinking about surviving? And y'all are over here somehow Lori ends up pregnant. Like that shit just kills me. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
The only time I can remember like being obsessed with the show was Game of Thrones. But to be fair, I was late on Game of Thrones. Like I didn't start watching in real time till like season three.
Oh
And but then
wow.
once I started like I got caught up and whatever, and then once I started watching it like season three, I watched it every episode.
All the way through. It's that
All
good.
the way through. Oh yeah, oh
Because I've
yeah.
never watched any Game of Thrones.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was good in my opinion. It's like I said, it's like you said, it's rare to find a show that you're hooked on all the way through. Um,
Yeah.
and that might have been one. The only one I
Oh,
can
I
think about.
used to watch Law and Order SVU when I was
Mhm.
like 16 or 17 because that was when it was really popular. And that's kind of how I was in true crime over that. And the case with the boys in West Memphis when they got killed, those 3 little boys. That's
West
what got
Memphis.
me started
West
in true
Memphis
crime.
3. Yeah, the
Yeah.
West Memphis 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
And
seen
I
those
seen that
documentaries.
documentary when I was like 8.
Yeah, and
And
I
that's
think
what
there's
I
like
knew then. I was like, dude, No, those
I think
boys
they
did
came,
not do that.
there was
There's
like a
like
three
no
part,
evidence either.
right? There was like a three-part series, wasn't it? Or like there was weapons. I think they
There
had
was
like.
a three-part movie or
Oh, okay.
documentary series made by HBO, but there's a channel on YouTube. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember their name. But it starts with, it's like an investigative channel, but it starts with a P. But there's two words and they both start with P, and I can't remember. But they've done like a 17 different show deep dive into that entire thing from start to finish because it took them like 20 some odd years, but then eventually they got all, I think they all got released, didn't they? I know
You know,
Damien did.
I can't remember. I truly can't remember. I think they all did, but I couldn't remember. And it's recently I saw someone post that they're convinced that they got the right people, and I didn't even know that there was still people out there saying that at this point.
I didn't
I
know
know.
that either.
I wish I could find it. It's probably just some nut trolling or something, but yeah, I didn't know if like new
Either
information had
that or
come
it's
out.
the one person that's left that I thought I always, and I'll probably believe this till the day I die, that it was the stepdad of that
Right.
one kid, of the
Right.
Byers kid, Mark
Yeah.
Mark Byers. I really do believe that he had something to do with it. I do believe it probably was set up to look ritualistic because of the boys living in the town at the time. But I think that more than anything, it was just had to do with Mark being a freaking pedo.
Yeah. Exactly. I remember that. That was good. I liked another show I got hooked on when it was out was what is it? True Detective. Like that first season with have you ever seen that?
Jason Bateman is in it too. I'm pretty sure.
He maybe there was several seasons. They changed the cast every season. I know Christian Bale was in it and Woody Harrelson. That was season one, and it's so
Oh, wow.
good. You should. It's so good. You'll
I'm
get
gonna
hooked on
have to
that.
watch that. That
So good.
sounds good.
It was
That
amazing.
sounds good.
I think it was
And
probably
I
one of
love
the best.
shows that are based like that. I love that.
You'll love it.
There's one out with Jason Momoa right now where they're all on the whole, all on the different islands in Hawaii, but they're supposed to be like back in the day when they were still tribal. It looks really good, and it's only got like 3 or 4 episodes out so far. I still got to catch up to like 2 of them, but yeah,
Okay, I'll check that. I might
it
check
looks
that
like
out.
it's going to be really good.
Okay. Um, and you had mentioned true crime earlier, and that's it's funny because I was just on my friend's channel. Do you mind if I say his channel? I'm not trying to promote it. It's called True Crime Investigates, just in case anyone's
Oh, is
interested
that
in.
with Tony Bruschi?
No, I know that guy. That's in his channel called like Hidden Truth or something like that. I'm not
Yeah, it's
sure.
something like that. But I've heard of True Crime Investigate, so I think I've subscribed to him. I have to
It's
check here. I think I
it's
might
a
be
guy.
subscribed.
It's a guy named Anthony Greeno. Somewhat controversial on YouTube, but then again, it seems like every YouTube channel is controversial to someone for some reason.
Well, if they're, I notice if they're telling the truth or if they're pointing out the like shit that should people like. Why are you acting like you don't see shit that's happening right in front of your face? Especially if you're literally not legitimately blind. You're just like the Guidestones thing. Me and Papa were talking about that earlier before I went live. They just blew them up, and that's it. Everybody just
But
kind of went shut mouth on them.
yeah,
But
I heard
yet, with
about
that
that.
Mormon church shooting, we got cops there within like 30 seconds of the first shot being fired, and then 8 minutes of that, they had the dude killed. How was he able to set the church on fire then to the level that he did? Like something's not adding up there.
I'm gonna have to
Period.
check that case out because I've been under a rock. So forgive me, but I heard that's the most I've heard about that story, really. So I'd have to check it out. This guy, True Crime Investigates, like he started so long ago when I was on YouTube, like 10, I don't even know, like 10 years ago. I was subscribed to his channel, and he was following. I guess it wasn't 10, but maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, he was following this one case, that Delphi case.
Is it Delphi? Are you talking about Delphi? Oh man. Oh man, Delphi's another one of those ones.
Yeah,
Ooh.
we don't have to
Ooh.
necessarily get into that, but there was something you said that was like if he's up there telling the truth, and actually we ended up disagreeing on it. So I feel like even I didn't. You said like as long as he's telling the truth, I didn't think that he was being truthful and forthright, or we just disagreed. But I was just happy that he had the platform to talk about it and he would let you on and discuss it.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily have to agree with the person or that they're telling the truth to fuck with their channel. You know.
It's the whole
I,
reason why I do my channel is because I love to hear other people's perspectives on some of the same things. Because it's some a lot of the times, especially with me being blonde, it's some shit that, like, just like I said, it's right. It was right there in front of my face. I just didn't see it from that perspective until, like, somebody else that doesn't necessarily agree with me points it out from another angle, and then I'm like, oh shit, man, you
yeah,
might actually be right, because that kind of
yes,
makes more sense. That
yeah,
kind of
and it's
stuff.
yeah, it's important to hear people out and see where they're coming from, and what makes them think that. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah, and he liked to have me on. We would debate, I guess. I never thought of it that way, but like if he said some bullshit, I'd call him on it. And
I'm the same way. I'm the
yeah,
same way. If I say some shit that it sounds like that, by all means, call me out, because we can talk this out like we're adults. We don't
no
have to be
worries.
petty little bitches, which I can be sometimes over some. Like, I personally do not
Mhm.
believe they got the right guy when it comes to Delphi. I do
Right.
not think Richard Allen is even remotely involved in those crimes at all.
And I was kind of on your side. Well, I was like, my statement was, I'm not convinced he's the guy. Like, I'm not saying he's not the guy. I'm not saying he didn't
But
do it,
yeah,
but
but
like,
there's not enough evidence to say he is the guy either.
ain't,
Like,
ain't no
come
way.
on.
Ain't no way.
Like, no.
But my friend Reno and a lot of people, I could name other people on YouTube. Whether it was Murder Sheet. That was a big part of he's guilty. A lot of people thought he was guilty. And yeah, I just wasn't convinced, and I wanted to hear
Yeah,
why
I
they
get
were so
really
convinced.
pissy over the way Murder Sheet did that, and then the way that the sheriff, or what's his name, the state trooper, whatever his name is, what did like their little intro thing to their book and all that stuff.
Oh,
Like, fuck them.
I'm
They get
drawing a
on my
blank.
damn nerves sometimes.
Yeah, I just went blank. I know you're talking about. He was like the head of the state police. I can't believe I forgot his
But I
name.
can't remember his name for shit. It'll
Doug
come to me
Carter.
way later
Doug,
all of a
Doug,
sudden. I'm like,
Doug
oh, it
Carter.
was da da da.
Doug Carter.
Because
Doug
I'm
Carter.
personally right now obsessed with the Adelson case.
Hold on, hold on.
Have you?
Doug Carter was his name, right? Doug Carter.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Doug Carter.
Yep.
Um,
And the other guy, what was the other guy that was the other sheriff?
the sheriff was Tobe Lesenby. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think he knows more about that shit than what he's
Mhm.
hoping that anybody ever finds out. It's kind of like the Murdaugh shit in South Carolina, how that was such a web of interwoven, connected shit. I feel like the same thing's kind of going on in Delta for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that Murdoch thing was juicy, and I saw another potentially hot take recently on YouTube. Now that you mentioned that, there was I forgot who made the video, but they were like, "Is Buster getting away with murder?" Which was the older brother, and I was like, I didn't know that theory was out there either.
Yeah, because he
Have you
hit
ever?
and run that kid. I'll always believe he hit Sean
Oh,
Smith.
sure. But like, I think that okay. To be clear, I think that they were. Maybe it was phrased like, Is the dad taking the fall for Buster?" Like, I thought it kind of like implicated Buster in the brother and the
And Steven
mother's murder.
shit and the boat shit,
Well,
kind of.
the Steven shit, yeah, the hit and run thing. I didn't think that they were referring to that, but now that you say it, maybe they were. But yeah, okay. I didn't know if you'd heard about that.
Oh yeah, because I was watching it from the very beginning when Gloria, when the housemaid fell and ended up
Oh,
dying, and then that's when I found out about the Stephen Smith. And after that, I was obsessively watching that and the Fitz, and also what's his name down there? His wife died, Micah Miller. That John Paul, that line sob mm-mm-mm,
I don't remember that
in
one.
South Carolina.
I don't remember
He
that one.
claims that Micah uh, uh,
Oh,
S did the S word appear in what's the name in Lumbee State Park, because she crossed from South Carolina up here, and she wasn't even known. She was known to have some depression, but it's because, dude, John Paul had literally been grooming her since the time she was like 15 years old. Then divorces his first wife and marries her, but she can't have children, and
mm,
he's like psychologically abusing her. There's bunches of text threads of him doing that. But not only that, the chick he's with now, that John Paul is with now, her husband also allegedly s himself, but he was disabled, and they found him at the bottom of the pool in his wheelchair still. Like, and it was an electric wheelchair, and somehow it must have went defective this day, and he just
mm.
goes off into the pool.
Mm-mm. And I
No.
have not heard of that. I'm surprised I haven't. I'm from South Carolina. I have to check it out. But
Yes,
at the beginning of this, you
yes,
said
because it's like one of the big things down there right now. Yeah,
I've been under
because
a rock.
we want to know why John Paul's not been arrested. Because it's obvious that he's, well, even if he hadn't didn't do something to Micah, he's been doing some really very disturbing stuff with these underage girls in his church for a long time and getting away.
Mm.
So like, yeah.
Earlier in the conversation when we started, you said I asked about topics, and you said I don't know if anyone's interested in true crime, but I had some of those topics. So I'm interested. So have we touched on those topics already, or what were you gonna
No,
tell
go
me?
ahead. What are you have you been following in true crime? Like, because I follow a bunch of different true crime channels.
I can tell, and I don't. So I appreciate you phrasing it that way. That's probably is smart, but I hate to hijack the conversation. But there's only a few cases that I've really covered, and one was Delphi. But then lately, I've been trying to get in that Charlie Kirk thing, but I don't know if you want to go there or not.
We can go there. We can go there. It's a little weird to me. I don't fully get the whole thing with the shooter and the gun itself and how old it is and all that stuff is really got me like interested mostly in the case about the weapon itself and the shooter and his training because like we train our ROTC high schoolers just the same almost, but they don't have weapons that their grandpa had given them with no serial number from like the 1800s with the modified scope.
Right.
This is what I've heard. So like none of that math is math. Like
Right, right. So if we were to stick to like the gun thing, the rifle or whatever, just specifically for a minute, there are problems with that. What do you make like? What do you make of like how he got the gun there and then how he left with it? What's your
I haven't
understanding of it?
seen much of how he got it there or how he left with it. I did know that he like there was a guy there was an older man there that was claiming that he did the shooting as kind
Yeah,
of like a distraction and that's how he was able to get away is what I heard. And then he immediately allegedly went to Dairy Queen.
right. And then yeah, well, I said I wanted to stick on that gun, so I'm not going to talk about that other guy. But like, yeah, I'm
Well,
not
what do
clear
you
as
know?
to
No, we can talk about the other guy after the gun if you want to go there.
yeah, sure. Well, just
It,
quickly, like what I heard about that guy was like they immediately also found like child stuff on his phone and arrested him for that, which is odd. Um, and then I also heard that same guy has been at other major events in our country's history.
like 9/11.
Yeah, that was one of them the only one that I remember, but there was others too, and I was like, that's weird.
I think he was at the RFK shooting too, if I'm not, or they attempted, not, maybe it wasn't RFK, but the one with Donald Trump. I think he was at that one too. But I definitely heard that he was at 9/11. I'm like, so wait a minute. Nobody finds that odd. He just
Strange.
happens to be like the luckiest time dude ever to just happen to be at all these events.
Yeah, and he's able to like travel freely, like he can just bounce around state because like all these events were in different places. So it's like it's
Yeah,
not in his
that's what I'm
base
saying. And he just so
neighborhood.
happened to be there when the shit went down every
Right.
time.
Oh, it's odd, but maybe there are people who maybe there's other people who follow this kind of thing and show up to all these things. I don't know, but
But they would
you
have
know,
to know prior, would they not?
say that again.
They would have to know
Oh,
ahead of time, yeah.
well, maybe I don't know. I guess maybe you can make the argument that he just shows up at any of these events where there could be any drama because he's just he likes to be out
He
there.
likes drama.
He likes drama, and maybe so he probably goes to a lot of events where there's not drama, but he's hoping that there would be. I have no idea how he could be at 9/11. Maybe he showed up after it hit. I don't know the details of that, but that's
It's weird.
strange. So he got arrested for CSAM or whatever on his phone or something allegedly, um, which some people say that's convenient. What
That's what I
also
would have said too.
what yeah
How bloody convenient.
Well, they tried to do the same thing with like Julian Assange, for example. Like there has been examples of some sketchy evidence of that. What's interesting is that how did the okay going back to the gun, and we'll bring up that other guy in a minute if you don't mind. But like, how did he get it up there? And people are like people. Some people said it was in his backpack. Some people said that it was down his pant leg. And there's been like videos of him allegedly like limping or like walking funny. and I don't know if that was before or after. I'm unclear. Um, I thought that they were saying like he it was disassembled in his backpack, and so he went up there with it, put it together, pulled off an accurate shot, and then he left with it. And do you know exactly where it was found? Because I'm unclear.
He wasn't from around there. No.
Right, it was like he clearly left the scene with it, and then I'm not clear as to how though because there's a video of him coming off the roof. Did you see that?
Yeah, and I saw him leaving on foot, but I only seen like a couple of seconds once he came off the roof because people were scattering and like all over the place. And then I think I briefly seen a clip of him at the Dairy Queen afterwards, but then I was cleaning, so I just kind of like walked away because that one really disturbs me, especially after the way it went down. The headshot, not to mention the fact that it's like, I get that you're pissed off about shit, but the dude had kids. If I'm not mistaken, his youngest kid, Charlie's kid, was just like months old. And now these children are going to have to grow up and barely probably remember their dad's voice. And if they do, it'll just be him bitching and angry and pissed off at some freaking rally. And then he gets capped. That's all these kids get to know of their dad. And that piss ant couldn't even think ahead of shit like that. The lack of empathy is what really gets to me with the true crime these days and people.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. And I heard that some people were celebrating his death. I'm not sure if that's true.
yeah,
I'm
with
gonna
the
be honest.
blood even raining on him.
Yeah, and yeah, that's horrible. I didn't like the guy, but I would never celebrate anyone's. I don't wish death on anybody. But I was talking to this random girl last night, and the closest I've heard of someone celebrating his death was last night. I ran into some girl, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to be on this podcast tomorrow and talk about Charlie Kirk. Do you know anything about it?" She's like, "Well, from what I know, he got what he." And then she didn't want to finish it, and I was like, "Well, go ahead. Like, you got what he deserves." That what you? And she was like, "Yeah, like, I heard him say crazy, really horrible shit on the internet." And I was like, "Oh, well, like, tell me one of the things that he said that's horrible, because I want to talk about it tomorrow." And so she looked on her phone as we were chatting for like 10 minutes, but couldn't really produce anything. But like, what could she have produced? What could she have produced that would justify murdering someone? That's some that I don't know. I hope I can speak freely here. Am
Yeah,
I?
of
Am I doing
course.
okay? Dude,
Yeah,
that's
because
some
I'm not
pussy shit.
monetized. I don't.
That, that's some pussy shit. Like that. Like you don't like what some. If you don't like what someone says, then say something smarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
or keep your
fight
damn mouth shut
fight
and think
fire
about
with
what they just said.
strike fire with fire. If it's so offensive and it's so vile, and then beat them with your words that are so perfect. I guess you know what I mean. So peaceful and so so smart. Yeah, go hit them with
But
that. But it's real pussy when you resort to that sort of violence just because you can. And Charlie Kirk was approachable and engageable. Like he went to these college campuses and engaged with people. Like if that person wanted to engage him, he
they
could
could have
have.
just walked
So
right up to Charlie and be like, "Yo, man, I got a problem with what you've been saying." Da 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 da. But he was a
yeah,
bitch made motherfucker, and that's why he did what he did.
that's some
Period.
bitch shit. That is some bitch shit. I'm down to one earphone. Can you still hear me? This one just died.
Yeah. At
Okay,
least
let me
your
know.
earphones are working good. Mine usually don't want to. The mic usually doesn't want to work real good for me on mine, and they're
Yeah,
awesome head earbuds, but not for that phone.
I
But
got.
yeah, and then to find out that the dude, and don't get me wrong, because I do not have a problem. I'm not saying anything whatsoever about the transgender or the LGBTQ community. But then to find that out, and that person is now went into hiding because they're so scared. It's like,
Mm,
but you kind of probably knew this was going to happen ahead of time. If anybody had an inkling, it's you, the little furry that's
right.
running around. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and some people are like they want those messages released because like the messages between him and the furry, like it was mostly one sided. There was some comments they shared about the roommate, but there was a lot they left. You could just tell they just went to the next message that he sent. It's like, wait, what was the other guy saying? The other person,
yeah.
furry or whatever. But just to go back, and again, thank you for having me. I hope I'm not talking too
Oh,
much in
no
this case.
problem.
Going back to him coming off the roof, like I've seen that video, and it's really blurry. But some people say you can clearly, like not clearly. Some people can say that he has what looks like a weapon, a gun up there. But then it's a lot of people say you can't see it. And
Yeah.
then that I'm a little confused about. Did he put it down his pants leg and then jump off? You know what I mean?
Right,
Because
because you
that,
would have seen him limping if he did have it in his pants walking to that. How did nobody think that that was sus as well? It's like this dude's climbing the side of the building with a book bag. That's not weird to y'all,
yeah, and
especially at a Charlie Kirk rally.
I heard the narrative is that it was in his backpack on the way there and he reassembled it, but then on the way out he put the whole thing down his pants. But like when I watched the video of him falling off that or jumping off that roof, it was like it was a big fall, and his knees went down to the ground. It's like how are your knees gonna buckle if you got a gun down your leg? You know what I mean?
They're not.
Yeah, but maybe he. Maybe he tossed it and then picked it up and then put it down his leg. I'm just unclear. You can't really see it on the video. Some people are saying that would have only worked if he disassembled the gun. So
And then
so
toss it down.
yeah, disassembled it and put the parts in his pants or something like that. I don't know. But the problem there is that from when they found the gun and they took a picture of it, it was reassembled. So uh,
Yeah, that's
so
weird. That's
he
really weird.
went there, he reassembled the gun, pulled the shot off, he disassembled the gun, ran away, almost got away with it. He reassembled it and then left it. I don't know. It's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, so he was so smart, he thought he could pull all that shit off, but then he failed right there at the end. Like, no,
Right. Yeah.
no,
Not only did he fail, like, well, kind of. I mean, he kind of got away with it. I think the gun was the problem. I don't know why he ditched the gun. Really, if he took it that far, why not just keep it? I don't get that. If it was down his pants, why did you take it out and hide it? I don't get that either.
yeah.
Um, and then those messages between him and the furry. Did you read those or have you heard about those?
I haven't read them or heard them yet. No.
You should because I'll misquote it and you know, but not purposely. But you should pull them up
Who
because
has
a
a
lot
good copy of those messages? Who has
of
them right now? Which true crime channel?
oh they've been everywhere. I'm trying to think where I saw it. I've seen it so many different places. The perfect place. Yeah, they'd be long videos, so I don't have like a timestamp and stuff, But you could Google it right now. You could Google it like his messages, and there's several things that people are focusing on that don't quite make sense allegedly, or that they're questioning. One is just like how he detailed every bullet point of the crime. So like he confessed
Mm,
to it. He somehow going back to that guy, that kooky guy that they arrested.
yeah.
He knew about that because the furry was like, wait, I thought they arrested the guy, and he was like, no, that was just some crazy guy, And so he's making his
So
escape.
how did he know about that dude?
I guess he was. I guess he was like also checking his news feed like at the same
That's
time.
the only thing I could figure. Like, other than that, it's because y'all motherfuckers were involved in this shit.
Because he did go on to say like about the gun. He's like, I'm trying to get the gun. I'm worried about what my old man will say because it was like his grandpa's gun or something. I'm
Yeah,
worried
it's like
about what
great
my
grandpa's gun.
oh, is that what it was? And he's like, yeah, I'm worried about what my old man would say if I don't come back with the gun. And he did reference, he's like, I haven't seen anything about them finding the gun yet, so I might hang around and go back for it. So he must have been looking at social media or something, to see the updates. So maybe it's not that crazy. But when I first heard it, I was like, wow, he's making a getaway and checking his timeline and disassembling guns and reassembling them and all kind of shit.
His,
But he does,
his timing would be impeccable. Like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, and so it's interesting. Like one of the things like in the messages is like people claim that a 22-year-old Zoomer doesn't talk like that. Now I don't know how the guy talks, and everyone talks differently. But one of the things they're pointing out is like he's writing essays. Like they say they text short abbreviations and stuff. He's writing like essays, like paragraphs and shit.
Like I do, and I think I'm a Gen Z
Mhm.
or I'm a
Oh,
millennial. I'm
millennial,
sorry, I'm a
millennial.
millennial. And
Yeah,
if I'm texting you and I've got a bunch of shit to say, I'm gonna write out a novel and then send it like
yeah.
that.
Sure, and they say that's not necessarily normal for someone his age. They point to like some of the language he uses, like my old man or squad car, the vehicle, double back, drop point, and
That's
one of
very
the
technical law enforcement sounding language as well.
Yeah,
If you want to ask me, that's shit.
yeah,
That's words I've heard law enforcement use when they're
yeah,
talking.
exactly, and that's what they're pointing to. You know that it seems suspicious. And again, like he went through everything. Like he detailed it. Like I had a chance to kill Charlie Kirk, and I took it. And some hateful things that you say can't be, undone or justified or overlooked or something like that. So I had the
Oh, but
opportunity.
you killing somebody should be? No,
And
sir.
and he said, he detailed about changing the clothes, about leaving the rifle. I mean, he made such a detailed confession that some people think that's sus. Like he hit
It's
every
super
single
sus.
bullet point via text or Discord or something. But like, I mean, wouldn't you? If you had, he planned it all out, and he even said like in one of his texts to the furry, he was like, "I planned on taking this to the grave, like and until I died of old age." Um, well,
But
then why
then he
didn't
did.
you? But then, yeah, like in that the next breath, he just made like a 180 and a detailed confession. Why? Like I don't understand. I don't understand why. Um, so yeah,
When
so
weird shit like this happens, this is why I strongly believe they do mess with people using EMFs. I don't give a crap if people want to believe that sound and frequency has the power to make people like lose their shit or think or be programmed like that, but they absolutely do. And if there's any government that has been testing that shit on their people, it's our government for sure. That's just
right.
my personal opinion.
I don't know much about that subject, but I wouldn't put it past the CIA to be able to do that. I don't know. Some people are just generally saying this guy is a patsy. They're saying he just just didn't do it at all or something, or they're saying that he was instructed to drop off the gun there, and that was his only supposed to be his only role in it, and then he took the fall for it or something. I'm not clear. Um,
That's the way I've been hearing it in short form. Yeah.
yeah, there's all kinds of rumors, and like I guess some people are looking at like who had something to gain from Charlie Kirk's death, you know,
Right.
and trying to go about it that from that angle. I don't know if that's helpful, but then people are pointing to, oh, the Democrats, because Charlie Kirk was, getting so many young people over to his side that the Democrats were threatened. Another one says, oh, but the Republicans had a lot to gain because now they can use it to their advantage, and gain support from it. Um, and then one of the other ones I heard was Israel, like Netanyahu and stuff. Have you heard about that?
No.
You
I'm
might.
not surprised that somehow somebody's tried to bring Israel into this, but I wish that that would just stop
Right.
all the way
So
around.
well, I want to hear it all out. I want to hear what they say, and I found it interesting. But if you don't want me to
No,
talk
I
about
want
it,
to
that's
look.
fine.
What happened with Mr. Netanyahu? That's what I'm gonna call
Netanyahu came out days after the murder and addressed the public specifically and said like we had nothing to do with this. Like that's vile and terrible. So like the rumors are so strong that he felt compelled to come out in front of the camera and to deny an assassination, which is kind of a strange time that we're in. I've never
it.
really seen
Yeah,
that before. Criminal government, like it's odd, but that is. I'm not saying he is or isn't telling the truth, but okay. So listen,
that's kind
uh,
of scary.
yeah, so let's figure out. Like, I wanted to figure out why people are saying that, right? So I did
Right.
somewhat of a deep dive into it. Listened to a bunch of people on the internet for what it's worth. But basically, what I understand is that Turning Point USA was Charlie Kirk's little foundation or company or whatever, and
Hmm.
that they were funded by a lot of Jewish billionaires from the United States. Okay, and specifically because they wanted to push a pro-Israeli message. And it is kind of weird, that aside, like our relationship with Israel, I feel like we're constantly defending them and like we're just partners in crime so often. And I feel like they take us into problems we shouldn't be involved in and stuff like that. But
Exactly.
yeah, there's a weird marriage between us. You can't say anything about Israel because you're an anti Semite. I think I heard that there was like laws about you couldn't protest Israel in certain places. I'm not sure, but it's just weird. It and especially
It's
between
really weird. It's
and
very weird.
I feel like especially between the GOP and Israel, I feel like they're like tied hand in hand for some reason, but really maybe the Democrats too. Anyway, so yeah, so if
Wouldn't
that's
they
two
all
and
have to be working together in like almost like how wheels and the clock works? Each little piece has to work and turn at just the right time, or it's not going to work properly. It's going to end up not functioning right. So they all have to be in bed with one another in order for this stuff to go down the way it does. And each time it happens like this, and they get us a little bit more divided and a little bit more divided, then they're winning. They're winning, y'all. They're doing exactly what they want to do, and we're doing exactly what they want us to do, which is get more and more divided instead of coming together as a whole. Because if we were working like that from that standpoint, with the energy that people give off when they're positive and all that, then there's all kinds of stuff that would change. But they don't want that because they're not going to profit off of that. They're not going to
bingo,
make nowhere near the money off
Bing- bingo, and we especially our country we profit off of war and bombs, and with companies like Boeing and Halliburton and so forth and so on,
Pratt and
Raytheon,
Whitney.
absolutely,
Raytheon is Pratt
yeah,
and Whitney is a subcorp of Raytheon who just purchased property here in my town about it's been going on 2 years ago now. But I'm all over their shit. Every time something goes on over there, I'm reading up about it, trying to figure out what's going on next because I can't stand them. Every time for they
and
file for a permit, they filed for a permit to dump some waste into our river system. Like what the absolute fuck?
so wow, we're getting this is a good conversation for me. I hope we're not. I haven't looked at the chat. I hope we're not boring people. Um,
Fuck them. If they're up, if they're bored, then they just can't keep up, and I feel bad.
okay,
Maybe
well,
they'll get a dictionary.
I'd hate to ignore like a question or something, but so okay, so going back to let me just finish this thought about Israel. Okay, so Turning Point USA is funded by these Jewish billionaires from the United States. The allegation is that Israel is funding them because Charlie Kirk wouldn't want to take money from a foreign government, but if the government gives it to the Jewish billionaires in the United States, and then they give it to Turning Point, that's different. So okay, so the reason why that's important though to these people is they say that in the weeks and months leading up to Charlie Kirk's death, he started questioning or softly pushing back on what Israel was doing. And the reason was is because you see it in the people that he deals with, the young people of the GOP, those young white men in the GOP, like even they started turning against what Israel's doing, and we shouldn't be involved in it. And what I saw was Charlie Kirk asking tough questions. I saw an interview with him and Ben Shapiro in days before his death, and he straight up asked Ben Shapiro, like, is what they're doing genocide? And like
Yes.
and that was kind of like a transformation from what I understand. Like he didn't used to ask those questions, but it was happening. And he had an event where he introduced two people debating about the same topic. And from what I heard, just that alone was enough to piss off his donors, and they weren't happy about it. So again, look, I'm just saying that that rumor is out there. Um, he claimed to be afraid of Netanyahu. People close to him. He told his friends close to him that he was afraid of them. And apparently they had a meeting and they offered him money to a lot of money to kind of like hijack his whole channel and take it over. He turned him down, and that's what like one of the producers of his channel said. But I don't know.
Wow. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So a lot of that I didn't know. I didn't know that Israeli had recently gotten brought into this as much as they have,
But
but that's really sus. And that he
it is.
asked Ben Shapiro like that in those words. I think Charlie was scared, is what it
People
sounds like.
people were saying that he was, but he was kind of like I feel like he was forced into it because his base was demanding it, and he's always out there interacting with the base. So like he had to hear that shit. He had to take the questions and deal with it and justify it, and it became a problem, you know. Um, but they didn't appreciate him questioning that.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
you know,
Yeah, that's one
but like
thing they don't understand.
that whole like our relationship with Israel is weird. For here's one reason that I heard Tucker Carlson talk about recently. That like I forgot the name of the word, the Jewish word for it, but there's some sort of birthright that they say that I don't know if it's just young men have young Jewish men in America have a birthright, something to where we basically allow them to go over there and fight in the Israeli army for like 2 to 4 years. I can't remember. And to me, that's weird as fuck. Like, our citizens are going to fight for a different army. Like, what is that? And then we let them just come back. And where else does that happen? Do we let people go? Where else do we? What other country can do that? That's so
Germany,
weird. You can go fight in for Germany.
back in the day, but not our
Oh,
citizens, not that I'm aware of.
oh no,
That's
currently,
weird.
yeah, currently this is a thing. Like this is a thing. There's a whole word for it. I forgot what it is. But and I know a kid who did it. I know a kid who did it. But I feel like that's weird. So if the young people start to turn against Israel, and then maybe people would start to question that. Well, should we let them go over there and fight in these wars? And then that would be a direct problem for Israel and their military. I could see how they definitely wouldn't be happy about that.
Yeah, for
Mm,
sure. I have noticed an uptick of um, people over here on visas from that area, that in
mm,
particular, whether it's right there in Israel or the surrounding areas. I've noticed an uptick of people over here. Um,
mm,
I'm not sure why that all of a sudden they would be when it's never been like that before.
mm, mm.
Not like
You,
not like this. And people
you
are
mentioned
moving out of Tennessee left and right. Like,
why is
I
that?
mean, by the boatload. And I don't know what that's about either.
Huh?
But
What
I've
was the name?
noticed the uptick in the people because I get these magazines and I also subscribe to the patent and the trademark office and get emails and updates from them about different things that people have like patents and trademarks on, which is
Interesting.
actually really interesting to be getting emails from some of this stuff. Yeah. But that's how
Mhm.
I found out about the people. I'm not sure why, but they're selling their homes and moving out of Tennessee like crazy.
What was the company you said that was moving to North Carolina? What was the name of that?
Oh, Pratt and Whitney, which is that sub corporation of Raytheon's. What Pratt
Hmm.
and Whitney does here specifically is they actually build the engines for some of the jets that are for our military. That's allegedly what they're supposed to be doing at this factory.
Right, and
Because a
in
lot of
South
our
Carolina.
townspeople protested when they came and said that they wanted to buy property here. A lot of our locals were like, no, we don't want you here. Get the fuck
Really?
out.
Why?
Yeah.
Because like from a moral standpoint, or what?
Yeah, that and they knew that they were associated with Raytheon, and there was
Mm,
probably going to be some backdoor shady shit, like when they filed for that permit to start dumping waste into the water system with the
mm.
local government. But the local government's not going to come out and tell you that on the news. But I
Right.
get these newspapers from the neighborhood I live in, and that's where they tell you all that stuff.
So it was an environmental issue as well, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's definitely an environmental issue. And guess what? Now they keep talking about, is your water safe? Are you safe? Are you concerned about your water? There's all these little signs up in the neighborhood with this number that you can call and get the status and some data on the water if you're concerned about. I will not even touch the water if it's came out of the tap. I ain't no, nope. I'll take my
Not even like
chances with
filtered.
BPH and the plastic in that water before I will drink the tap water around here in Asheville. No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and
Not with
like
Raytheon here. Not with them here now. Hell no.
well, in South Carolina, we have Boeing, and that's a relatively new thing. I remember when Boeing came to Charleston, it was maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, and it was sold to us as it was going to be great. It was going to be great for the economy, and there'd be all these jobs that would open up. And I know like Lindsey Graham pushed it, the governor Haley, whatever her name is, pushed it, and
Nikki.
Nikki Haley,
Nikki
yeah,
Haley.
yeah. And so but and I don't remember a big protest of people saying no, but I don't know that it's been great for the economy here, and also like they've been doing some shady shit. And for example, like there was a whistleblower that was set to did you hear about that? There was a whistleblower set to testify, and he went to Charleston, I believe it was, or Mount Pleasant, and checked himself into a hotel. The next day, he was set to testify, and what do you know? He committed S.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, well, look, how convenient. Again,
how
how
convenient.
convenient.
And how convenient that those same people, like Lindsey Graham, for example, is constantly pushing for war. He's never met a war. Right now, he's talking about how we should get into World War III with Russia. Like, who in their right mind wants that? Well, the only thing I can
Who
think of is
says that? He is such a bonehead. Like,
Lindsey Graham.
what?
Yeah, like
Yes.
because you got to question his motivation. Because I mean, how convenient that he also takes money from Boeing, and that
Yeah.
he's in bed with Boeing. So I feel like the politics has just gotten so dirty.
Oh, yeah.
But we
Oh,
put up
yeah.
with it. We put up with it.
Yep. Yep. Because we act like we cannot govern ourselves without these shady motherfuckers telling us what to do and how to put our pants on every day. It's the craziest shit. I'm not even that old, but I already have grandkids, and I'm absolutely terrified for what kind of world's going to be left behind when I die and they're still here. With the way things look right now, that is freaking scary.
Yeah. Well, I guess it all stemmed from like Trump made comments about how, basically ramping back up the whole Ukraine conflict and how Ukraine should invade Russia and start taking over their cities and territories or something. And I hope I'm
And then
not
they're
taking
going to
that.
pull like a coup de grace, like freaking Germany did in France back in World War II. Just whenever they're like, oh no, we're cool with y'all. We're cool with y'all. Oh, by the way, no, you're fucked. We're taking over.
It,
What?
well, and I feel like it's also like a complete reversal of Trump's what he had said in the past that he said he was going to settle this thing in 24 hours. He's going to cut a deal.
Yeah,
Like before he even got sworn in, he was going to have this done. And now
yeah,
he's ramping it up. And I feel like I've heard people, Republicans, who are upset about that. His own base is like, wait, you got elected on the opposite of that. What are you talking about?
exactly.
It's a
That's the
complete reversal.
whole reason why you got elected by so many people that I know. That's the reason why, because he was going
Bingo.
to end the shit with Russia. Because we do not need to be getting into it with Russia, especially while we're already getting into it with Israel. Like, really?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been some weird reversals that I hope like people are going to call Trump on, even his diehard supporters. I've heard some of them say it, like the example I just gave. But
I hope so.
yeah,
And
I
what
hope
happened
so.
to Melania?
What do you
Just a
mean? I didn't hear
question.
that.
Does anybody know where the hell she's at or what's happened to her?
I don't
We
know.
never,
I
you
don't
never see her.
really.
Our first
Hmm.
lady, nobody finds that like just a speck odd.
That is weird. Um, hmm.
Of
I had
all of
another.
our first lady, we've always heard about the first lady and what they're doing, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Especially when Hillary was in office, especially when Obama was in office. We knew everything that Michelle was doing. What the fuck has Melania been doing for the last year? Like, for real,
You
other
know
than
the
getting her hair done and getting a tan, probably.
the, the other major flip that I was surprised about was the Epstein files, and like
Yeah, they kept saying they were going to release him and then they won't.
yeah, they voted against it on the like I heard it was the same day that Charlie Kirk got murdered, but I don't know if that's true or whatever. But like anyway, yeah, all those same people came out and they were like, release it all. Lindsey Graham, for example, I keep bringing him up, but I follow him closely because he gets on my nerves. But there was the whole GOP wanted to release it, and then Trump too, and then all of a sudden they don't. I don't
Probably
get
because their
that.
names are on that damn list.
That's what, yeah, the phone call has been leaked that Trump's name is on that list. Um, but again,
I mean, that's the only reason why. That's the only legitimate, logical reason. If you're thinking with your brain, people, that you would do that. You'd be like, "Yeah, let's release the list." That's it. It's like, "Oh, let's review the list real quick before we release it." Oh shit! I forgot to delete my name. Damn it! We're not going to release the list today. You better get that
right.
shit back in there and put the
It's,
white out on that. Like,
it's,
come
even- and
on,
it's even
man.
it's even worse. It's even worse than that because like again, I felt like he ran on a platform of like we're gonna do something. We're gonna protect the children. And we're gonna prosecute these people. Like these people who are abusing children. It's gonna stop. Like I mean, I heard so many lawmakers, Republicans say that. And then
Yeah, and they ain't done shit.
no, they did the opposite. They blocked it. They had the chance to
Yeah,
expose it, and and it was pretty much like I think it was 51-49 in the Senate. It was pretty much all Republicans that voted for it. There was a couple of exceptions like Rand Paul, but yeah, I was just really depressed to hear that they're not going to release it.
I wish somebody would just go steal it. Just defect and do us all a favor. Just go steal them. You know you got access to them when you're running them through the copier after you've hit the white out on them. Just give us the damn papers already, for crying out loud. If the dude really did do what y'all claim he did, then the papers shouldn't be that big of a damn deal. They really shouldn't. And whoever's on there should be prosecuted to the fullest. Look what we did to Diddy, to the fullest extent of the law. We did that to Diddy, but yet we got this other dude who's got a dead girl in the trunk of his car, and he's walking around like, I didn't know. I didn't know she was there. Shh. Really? True crime
Yeah.
right now is all
Um,
too shit.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 minute. I'll use the restroom. Are you going to still be on?
Go ahead. I know how that is. I probably need to go too. But I was looking for that dang thing that I had written down. Why'd I write that down? It's not fucking- it's definitely not that one. Let's see, who is this? MC Nemesis. Put you on. Is it gonna let me add you? Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it did. Hey, how are you doing?
Yes.
I don't
Hello.
think we've met before or not.
No, I've not been here.
I
Well,
know this
it's nice
guy.
to meet you. Thank you for joining us.
Sterling and M's Mad World.
Yeah,
What's up?
it's a little touchy subject matter right here, right now. If you can handle that sort of thing.
Yes. What is the topic on today's discussion?
Right now, we were actually talking about. I think we were still touching on some of the weird things about the Charlie Kirk thing, and there was one more thing. Oh yeah, the Netanyahu thing. Oh, the platform that the whole platform that Trump was running on was that he was gonna get in office and he was gonna release the Epstein files. As soon as he got in the damn office, he's gonna go in there and get those files. And he went in there and saw his name on those files and was like, "Oh, my bad. No, we can't do that. We can't release it. Oh, we're gonna release him again. Oh no, we can't. But we're gonna release him again. No, we can't." They've done that like 3 or 4 times since Trump has gotten office. What is that about? The only reason I can think logically you would do something like that is because your name is on the paper.
Well,
Why
yeah,
else would
that
you
would
keep
be
hiding?
one. Now Trump is busy. He's. Do you think that taking away people's food stamps and funding ICE was a good idea?
Hell no. Hell fucking no. That's the
I'm
worst
not
thing that he
gonna
could have done.
look. I'm not gonna be ashamed here. Anybody that makes less than about, I'd say, $49,000, and I'm talking about
Get
per household, qualifies for food stamps in
food
my
stamps.
state. At least in my state, North Carolina.
That's
But
where I live.
but the thing is, they cut it down by like 60 some percent.
What?
Yeah, it went from like 750, and now I get like 300. So
Oh my gosh. Do you have
so
children in the house?
yeah, I have one small child.
See that? Then you should be getting way more than that. I don't give a shit. I don't give a crap. That's so
The,
messed up.
the the
See,
the
I'm not
bad
on
thing
them
is,
currently, but I just recently applied because I'm on Medicaid now and a bunch of stuff. So I did recently apply for state, and I have not heard back yet about them. But now I'm curious as to how they might do me over that. I don't think that was good. I don't think funding ICE was a good idea whatsoever. I
well,
mean, come on, who's
the
going to
way
work
the
in the
taxes
fields
are
and do
set
all
up,
this
right?
until we send them back?
The way the taxes are set up is like, if you have a W two and you pay taxes, the whole household has to make less than 50,000. So if two people have a job and they make like 75,000, not, I mean, for one, they have to pay. They have to figure out the child care. Say they have someone to watch the child, but even then they don't get a tax return. They have to pay taxes.
Because they're not paying for daycare.
There, well, what I'm saying is there's no incentive. Like for me, like
Right.
there's
You've
no
got
incentive to
child
have
care,
two
so they're
W-2s.
taxing you on it.
Yeah, there's
That's
no point in
bullshit.
having two. So the way he's got it set up is only half the population really is working for a family unit.
Exactly. And it almost has to be that way. At least here in the state of North Carolina, like he was saying, it's all the way messed up here in North Carolina. Like I went yesterday to the store just for creamer, just to go get creamer for my coffee, y'all. And there was not one bottle in there that wasn't under $7. I'm sorry, I love my creamer, but no, it's artificial as it is anyways. I'm just gonna go over here and get this $3 gallon jug of milk, which is still a little overpriced in my damn opinion, because I'm an 80s baby. I'm used to prices that are not like this. I remember when gas was under $2. That was, oh my God, those day and ages. We're probably never gonna see those, unfortunately, which really sucks. North Carolina is a weird, quirky state, though, when it comes to some of that stuff. I mean, really, why would you do that with ICE when you know that there's a huge majority of your population that is Hispanic and is not legal? Why would you do that? And they're working jobs, especially after Helene. We need them. How the hell are we going to rebuild if you send them all back? What the fuck? I'm like, do they even have a brain? Sometimes I'm sitting here with, I barely have a high school education. I'm like, but at least I think past my damn face. Shit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, um, and another thing too, the incentive to take away the to defund the DEI initiative.
What is
Do you
that?
agree with that?
What? I don't think I've even heard of that.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Is that where they're trying to put everybody in these little apartments and just round them up like that? I
No,
don't like diversion. I don't like diversion for sure. I don't think that's getting us anywhere. Equity, if you're talking about equity in your house, I don't really know how I feel about that because I don't actually own the home I live in.
I'm trying to
But
find what I
inclusion,
wrote down.
see, I have to write stuff down too a lot nowadays.
I wrote a lot of notes about this kind of stuff. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Hmm.
Guess who else is about to be writing notes?
Well, I'm just gonna have
So
to. I'm just. I'm just gonna have to do it from memory. So basically, yeah, and it's good to do things from memory too. So the best way I can describe it is diversity, equity, and inclusion is like wheelchair ramps for people with disabilities and
Industries for
uh,
the blind.
yeah, like people with
Types.
disabilities, underprivileged classes of people, groups of people that have significant disadvantages, like the Native Americans, but not
Yep.
Native Americans, like our citizens, minority groups,
Yeah.
and groups like that. And they want to defund these groups, like I said, in order to fund ICE and in order to increase the spending power of the military.
That's insane. That's crazy to me.
I don't remember if I heard about this topic, but it sounds like I did hear about it, and they didn't. Of course, they didn't make the case. It was they were doing it for those reasons that you mentioned. I think the reasons they cited was like, wasn't it like people working specifically in what do you call it, the air tower controls at airports? And they were like, we shouldn't have to employ people with disabilities that work in the air traffic control towers because that's dangerous, right? Am I on the right page?
Why?
Well, they were saying that we need the best and the brightest in that sort of field, and I thought I may be way off here, but I thought that the legislation kind of mandated that they hire people of those qualities that he was
Of
mentioning
those
earlier.
groups.
Right, which I didn't know. I didn't know that like minorities were in there. I thought it was like people with just disabilities. Is the way I heard them explain it. I hope I'm not way off on this topic, but
That's really interesting. Because I have part of my family is Native American. Then I have grandchildren that are partly Hispanic. So this stuff like deeply disturbs me when they're treating citizens of minority groups, especially people with disabilities, or even the people in the mental health community. Your mental health is so dang important. Like, oh my, if you can't love yourself, how are you going to go out there and love anybody else, for one, to start with?
How do you feel about autistic people receiving government assistance?
I'm autistic. I don't
Yeah.
receive government assistance, but I should.
Well, what I mean is like people with, I'm talking about severe
Like
enough
the
to,
severe on the other end of the spectrum.
yeah. So
Yeah,
what I'm saying is these people that are unable to participate in society at no fault of their own, and the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Act kind of evens the playing field for them. I don't know if people notice this, but uh, African Americans on average have a lower IQ score.
Here
So,
we go. Here we go.
in order to balance the scales, there's like black colleges, stuff like that. And these black colleges have a certain threshold. Okay, we're going to have 80% black students to give them a chance. And on the Republican side, they said that's inherently racist and segregation. However, you know,
look at test scores.
yeah, the test scores, like on average, white people is 100, and then Asians are 103, so they score higher than us.
Well,
Uh,
I heard
you
that
know,
Jewish people, actually Jewish
like
people,
Hispanic people are about 95, and
I heard
then
that Jew-
African Americans are way down low, about 80,
They're way
85.
down. Yeah.
And the
And they
reason for
split the
that is
classrooms up
because
like that too.
yeah, they're not very good at problem solving because they're growing up in this environment where they don't have a father, and
wow.
Exactly.
so they have no. They need hopefully we can and there's a financial incentive for the women to take advantage of the government by having multiple children with multiple people, and it's creating this economy of. And then they go to court, and the courts uphold and sue uh, the
The
baby
father for child
daddies
support.
for child support if they have a W-2. So they have
Hmm.
to go out and get a 1099 like DoorDash, and that's why a lot of people do DoorDash.
That's exactly why my partner has to do DoorDash.
So W-2 that takes about 10 to 15%, I think, of a wage garnishment per check, and to pay the child
Mhm.
support. So maybe more. So and then the baby mama gets a check from the government after the government gets their cut, of course. And it's just a system to keep the black males
Down and
basically,
impressed.
well, basically enslaved. The black women are not enslaved. They're living better than ever. They have kids. They're raising their kids, and then when the kids get older, oh well, get out of the house, basically.
Unless they're doing something to contribute.
Yeah, because those
Yeah.
black mamas will kick them out,
Sorry.
and that's the problem right now with the minority group, and the DEI kind of counterbalances that. But now that that's down, you see the rise in the crime rate.
Oh, you can see it already. You can see it already. And that's what's scary, because a lot of it, they're young people. They're the young, what I consider the young people. Like if you're 10 or more years younger than me, you a youngin'. You still wet behind the ears. I may not know everything, but I know your little dumbass still has a lot to learn. That's all I do know. And it's scary how they're growing up with this sense of self entitlement when it comes to weapons and all kinds of shit. It's like, where are y'all getting the gumption to act the way y'all are? Oh, that's right. Your mama's not whooping your butts and your daddies are not around. Now, I'm not
Right.
talking about child abuse, but when we were kids, we got spanked. We had a little bit more respect for authority than the way they do now. And that's because they're not getting. There's no correction there, because their moms have to work endless hours to support them because they can barely get the amount of child support that they do need to support the kids.
Well, yeah, even though they sue for child support, it doesn't mean they pay it. Oftentimes they end up in jail. So,
And that's another just funding the vicious cycle right there, keeping them going back and forth to jail, because they make It was when last time I was incarcerated, it was $80 per day per inmate that the state of North Carolina makes off the inmates that are incarcerated in the jail and the prison system. Just off the inmates, that's what they make. That's a huge chunk of money right there by itself. So, yeah. But I love North Carolina. I love the fact that I'm from North Carolina. I'm a native. I love the state. It's beautiful, especially in the autumn. But there are some sketchy people running this place, and it's not cool. It's definitely not cool. What the hell is that? Please, God, let that be a deer. I'm not going over there. I got my window cracked about that much, and I seen something outside the window. I don't know what it could be a turkey, it could be a deer, it could be a bear. I don't know what it is, but I ain't going over there and trying to find out. It almost looks like somebody's out there spying on me, which has got me totally creeped out. Where's my knife? Just in case. You never know. What happened? Did they get kicked? Well, this is what we'll do. We can do it because we've been going for an hour and a half, and we've probably bored people or pissed a few people off. I wouldn't be surprised. We can cap this right here, and we can do a part two. What's tomorrow? Wednesday. We can do a part two tomorrow. If you want to leave comments or you want to come into the back chat and leave your information there, especially your channel links and stuff like that, or just leave them in the comments. So, in case I haven't subscribed to you yet, I actually think I am subscribed to MC Nemesis, even though we hadn't met until tonight. I think I'm actually subscribed to you guys. I might even be subscribed to Sterling. I'm gonna have to check. Um, but thank you guys both for joining me tonight, and especially for the topic of conversation, because I know right now this is one that's a little touchy and hard to go around navigating when you're on the YouTube streets, especially if you get into the debating area, from what I've heard. So, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you to the chat for joining me as always, because it's good to be back. And I hope to see you all again tomorrow.